Today I'm going to be making 3 chicken and rice casseroles. Normally I would just make one, but Herdez was kind enough to send us 3 of their salsas, and so I want to try all 3 in one video. So what would normally make one dish, I'm going to split everything into 3 dishes. So we have the Salsa Casera in the mild, the medium, and then the roasted Salsa Roja in the medium. So what you're going to need for this dish is you're going to need however many people are in your family, then you get a chicken breast for each person. So if you have 4 people in your family, get 4 chicken breasts. Since I have 3 salsas, I'm making 3 casseroles. I'm putting them in small dishes. I'm going to use 3 chicken breasts, and I'm going to cook these like you normally do until they're cooked through. So if you bake them normally, then you can bake them. If you boil them, you can boil them. You get the same result as baking, and it takes less time. So I'm going to boil them, and then I'm going to dice them up. You need a can of cream of chicken. You need some rice. I'm using Success rice. I love Success rice. It is a boil-in bag, so it looks like this. And you put 4 cups of water in a pan. You submerge the bag. And then once it starts boiling, you let it boil for 10 minutes, set a timer for 10 minutes, and then it's perfect. It's perfect every time. And I'm going to be using some mozzarella cheese. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get this on, get it starting to boil. I'm going to cook my chicken, and then we'll be back. So in the background, you're going to hear my rice boiling and my chicken boiling. So that's that noise. My oven is preheated to 350 degrees. Normally, the cream of chicken, you would just take the entire can of cream of chicken and put it in the one casserole. Like I said, we're dividing it into 3. So that means I'm going to divide this can into 3 parts. And then I'm also going to use half a cup in each casserole dish of the Herdez. So I'm going to go ahead, and normally when you use cream of chicken, you want to add a little bit of water to it, because Herdez is it has more liquid in it. I don't feel like I'm going to have to use water. We'll see when we get to that point. So right now I'm just thinking I'm not going to need it, just from previously using the Herdez. You see how much liquid is in the top of that? That's what I'm saying. I would just, yeah, there's a lot of liquid. I really don't think, you know what? I got all liquid and not enough stuff. Okay, I shook the jar. There we go. So now it's still, you see how much liquid's in there. That's what I'm saying. I don't think you'll need to add any like you normally would. And then this is the last one. Let's see. And that looks a little thicker. So what I'm going to do now is I've got my scale here, and I'm going to, this is a 10.5 ounce can. I'm going to weigh it. If you're curious how I'm going to do it, I'm going to weigh it out, divide it into 3 equal parts, and we'll be back. Okay, so I was telling you I love the Success rice, and this is how I do it. I take a fork, because there's a hole here, and then you just pour your water out, and you let it dangle from your fork, your rice. And then I take it and I put it in the pan, and I'll lean it like this, and I kind of just smush it, and more water will come out like that. But that is how you do the Success rice, and then you could open it up with a pair of scissors. Okay, so I tell you what, that is so much just liquid and not stuff that I'm going to get a hunk of stuff out and put it in there, just because I don't I don't feel like enough came out of there. So what you're gonna do, I measured my cream of chicken out. This is a 298 grams, so it was like 97 grams per container. So that's how you have to measure it out. So I'm going to add this to my salsa, and I'm gonna do that for each one. I'm gonna dump the rice in a bowl. That way it'll be easier. Now normally, like I said, you dump the whole thing into your one casserole because you're not gonna be making 3 casseroles at your house. Dump the whole thing in there, and you see how much rice this makes. It makes a ton, and it cooks perfectly. I love it. So I'm gonna start off with a heaping spoon for each one, and then I'll go from there. Up in with the chicken and salsa. Okay, so you can see that we diced each chicken breast and put it in each pan. Some of it looks like it has more. Not all the chicken breasts were the exact same size. You're gonna mix this together, and we're gonna do this with each one, and then we're gonna add some cheese on top. Have the mozzarella cheese, and you can just add as much or as little as you want. I don't want a ton because I want to actually be able to taste the salsa, and so I'm going to put some in each one. I'm going to put these in the oven for 20 minutes, and then I'm going to check on them to see how they look. This one is it's a thicker pan, plus it has a lot of liquid in it, so I might have to let that bake for longer than 20 minutes. And then that first pan is shallow, so it might not take 20 minutes. So I'll let you know when these come out how long they took. Okay, these are the casseroles, the 3. They all stayed in for the exact same amount of time. I actually ended up leaving them in for 30 minutes. They were hot enough at 20 minutes, but I wanted my cheese to get a little bit of a scald on top, and they could have stayed for even longer, but I thought 30 minutes was a really good time. Just know when you're making this at home, you'll probably be, I would make this in a big long lasagna pan, and I would probably plan on leaving it for 30 to 40 minutes probably if you use a lasagna pan. So now Kevin and I will take these over to the table and give them a try. So if you didn't catch it, I said it earlier in the video, Herdez kindly sent us these 3 salsas to review. Of course, we always give our honest opinion no matter what, but we have tried Herdez in the past, and we tried them with just the salsa and tortilla chips, and I wanted to put them in a recipe. This is something that I do quite often. I usually don't go to this much trouble and use rice, but I do use salsa with, in like picante salsa, stuff like that, with chicken. I do it all the time, and it is absolutely delicious. So you can just take baked chicken and put the salsa on top of it, and it is so good. So are they all the same calories?
No, this one's 5.
Okay, so the salsa caseras in the mild and the medium, they are 2 tablespoons or 10 calories.
And this one is 2 tablespoons for 5 calories. A roasted salsa roja.
So these are a product of Mexico, and you can visit herdeztraditions.com, or they have a Facebook page. You want to refrigerate these after opening. The mild has tomatoes, onions, less than 2% of salt, chili pepper, cilantro, and there's a couple of other things that aren't important, but those are the main things. So this is the first one we're gonna try.
Very ricey.
Yes, that rice, I have always liked the Success rice, and when I make like stuffed peppers, it's perfect for stuffed peppers. And I do have a recipe on YouTube, but Andrew and Ashley, it's funny because Andrew and Ashley always like the stuffed peppers. They like the inside, and so I would make the inside in a casserole pan just like this for them, and I wouldn't put theirs inside the pepper, so they were just eating the stuffed part.
I like that with the rice, actually.
I can tell where this would be very filling.
Oh yeah.
It's heavy. And you know what? This may sound odd, but this is thick enough to where if you did have like those Tostitos scoops, you could actually use one of those scoops and you could scoop that. Now, I don't think most people would want to do that because it already has all that rice, but you could. Because that's how thick it is.
Yeah.
I like that. It's mild.
It's good. It's not super spicy at all. So
No.
if you don't like spicy food, you'd be fine with it.
Yes, absolutely. But that works well with that chicken and rice.
Yeah, it's really good.
So now we'll try the medium, and I'm wondering what they added to it. This has more chili peppers. It's tomatoes, onions, and chili peppers. It still has cilantro, but I think it has, I'm not sure. It's still tomatoes and onions and chili peppers, but I bet you it has more. So let's see.
It was lighter, that's for sure.
It was, this one was very, it had a lot of liquid. But there's a lot of stuff down in there. It's just that when you pour it out like that, you need to know that the liquid's gonna come out first because all those other ingredients are heavy.
You could probably have drained some of that liquid almost if you wanted to.
Now, did you think that tastes any stronger than this?
Not the bite I got.
I don't either, not just in this bite, but it could be because I do have it with rice and chicken and there's so many other things going on, even the cheese, then that might help to minimize that spice.
The spice.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, you could have this without the chicken, just have the rice.
Oh,
it would be good.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, if you're...
Because I like the flavor of just the rice and the salsa.
No, that's good for people to know because if you're vegetarian, people are like, well, what about us vegetarians? What if you don't want the meat? Well, Kevin's letting you know.
Yeah, you could do that with just the seasoned rice. I mean, that's actually, I took a bite out with just the seasoned rice.
Right.
It's really good.
So there you go.
Now, this does have that cream of chicken, so the texture might be a little bit drier.
But you can use cream of mushroom. Just know that. You can substitute the cream of chicken for cream of mushroom.
If that's vegetarian, I'm assuming it would
I think cream of mushroom is vegetarian. I'm pretty sure it is. You can correct me in the comments.
But even if you didn't want that, you could leave it out completely.
You could, and it would still be good.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to make like the Success rice, and it is piping hot when it comes out of that bag, and you wanted to pour some of the salsa on top, and that be your meal, that would be a good meal with no cream of anything.
I've never thought of that.
Then you wouldn't have to bake it.
You have to sprinkle some cheese on there when it's hot, and it'll melt.
Yeah, that would be a really good meal, and then you don't have to do all this baking stuff.
I've never thought about salsa and rice, but it actually does come out pretty good.
There you go, another recipe. Okay, so this is the, I think I can reach it. This is the roasted salsa Roja. Is that Roja?
That's hot.
It is a medium, and it has fire roasted tomatoes.
This is what I'm looking forward to.
Jalapeno peppers, roasted jalapeno peppers, onions, cilantro, vinegar, garlic, spices. This is the one I'm looking forward to too, because I love
It sounds like it has more stuff.
jalapeno, yes.
Don't get near me. I like the flavor of that. It's got a smokiness to it. I'm guessing that's the roasted part. I like that.
Yeah, that's the fire roasted tomato. That's my favorite one.
As far as flavor goes, it's definitely more flavorful.
Yes, we had a Mexican restaurant. We used to have a Mexican restaurant in Lexington. It was called Don Pablo's, and they would bring you chips and salsa to the table. That reminds me of their salsa, and I guess it's that fire roasted tomato flavor. But that reminds me of the salsa that you would dip your chips in. That is definitely my favorite.
Yeah. It's still not super hot though. I mean, it's got a little tingle to it.
Yes, but there is some heat to it. So you do get the jalapeno, you do get the heat from that one, whereas you didn't, I really didn't from even the medium one. But like I said, I think everything going on in there, it was hard to get all that.
This one's medium as well though. It is a little spicier.
But it has those jalapenos and this doesn't. So I think that makes all the difference. So out of the three, even though they're all good, out of the three, I would buy that.
And I can still put that with just rice.
Yes, and the flavor would be excellent, yes. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you to Herdez for sending me these. I really appreciate it, and thanks for watching.